and you go by Valentari, stay tuned for a moment. I have a $15 donation from Gameageddon54 who says, my husband, Valentari, has been waiting for this run all week and has no idea I'm going to donate during it. Hope the run is really awesome. Thank you, Gameageddon. Also had one last donation talking about the pedestal. Sean Anosuke donated $25 and said, been watching and loving GDQ all week, been waiting to donate during the Link to the Past randomizer. Huge shout-outs to Andy and the Pug Farm. Thanks for always being so helpful. Runners, I'll donate an additional $1 per bonk, $2 per Ganon's Tower pre-big key chest, $10 per death, and an extra $100 for drawing the pedestal item per player. Good luck. Thank you, Sean Anosuke, for your generosity with that. Lumber Llama donated $500, said, thanks, Andy, Christos Owen, Patty, and AGDQ for your contributions toward eliminating cancer. Christos, I loved your Kaizo Miser and Rollin' Frozen. Good luck to the racers, and donation goes to Patty's Choice. Cryon HR also donated $500 and said, Link to the Past randomizer runs are my favorite, and I've been looking forward to this race all week. Thanks to everyone for putting on such a great event. Here's 500 rupees and a single arrow. And they left us a right curly brace, a couple dashes, and a greater than symbol. Type it out. That's an arrow. Thank you, Cryon HR. $500 donated by Peak Zorro. I have watched your marathons for many years, and this is the first time I can contribute. Running Link to the Past without randomization is hard enough. Imagine not knowing where anything is. This is in memory of my uncle who lost to cancer last year. Save the Yoshis. Thank you so much, Peak Zorro. And you know, we do have a lot of donations here mentioning loved ones who have suffered from cancer and things like that. I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of them. Argle Blargle donated $50 and said, 23 years ago, A Link to the Past was my favorite game to play at the hospital while waiting for my dad to get his chemo treatments. Had they caught his colon cancer earlier, I might be here watching GDQ with him. Here's 50 for streaming a great game for a great cause. Medigo donated $100 and said, I think it's great to see randomizers, hacks, and delicious roast beef-based restaurants in AGDQ. Hope those all become a staple. I'm making this donation in honor of my friend and coworker. He put off going to the doctors and passed away last weekend, days after the discovery of stage 4 cancer in multiple parts of his body. Everyone, please get to the doctor if there's even a tiny chance of this. Early detection is by far the best way to fight this garbage. Thanks so much to everyone working so hard to make AGDQ happen. You provide a lot of laughs and fun while we all contribute to a worthy cause. Also, Lockheed donated $1,000. Thank you so much. Said this donation is made in memory of my Uncle Vic, a man who lost his battle with a rare form of stomach cancer this past year. He left behind a beautiful daughter, granddaughter, grandson, and 8 brothers and sisters after fighting the good fight for a few years. I thank the PCF, the runners, and staff of GDQ from the bottom of my heart for putting together such an awesome event. And thanks so much to all the other donors. This would mean nothing without you. Love you, Uncle Vic. You will be missed. Thank you so much for that heartfelt message, Lockheed. We appreciate it. Up soon, we'll have an interview for you regarding Super Dram World 2 before we get on to Super Mario World No Cape No Star World Race, our next game. In the meantime, I'll keep reading some donation comments here for you. As DeFayu donated $100 and said, don't know who's going to win this race, but I can tell you it'll be a numpty. Super hyped to see this ran at AGDQ. Hyper hyped for my boy Patty commentating. Had some donations for the announcer's choice as well. Thanks a lot for that. I appreciate it. Stockhouse donated $25 and said, thanks for a great event. The interaction with funny runners and charming announcers has been great and really brought back the old AGDQ I hold so dear. Thanks for the best event so far. And while Stockhouse did actually send that in before I even began reading things on air here tonight, I will take full credit for that charming announcer's line. Thank you so much. All right. I apologize in advance for this one to you all. It's from Amy Lost the Game. $150 donation. She said, I'm playing board games with friends and AGDQ is on. I'm glad to donate to prevent cancer. Money goes to Narrator's Choice. Thank you. And BioSpark45 donated $120, said, I remember watching last year when the tracker was about to break 2 million. The screams crashed the audio feed, and the tracker was overloaded and couldn't keep up with all the incoming donations. Hoping to see it happen again. Donation to Reader's Choice. Thank you, BioSpark45. Yes, we can handle quite a lot of donation traffic, but you never know. Your generosity could literally set the servers on fire here at any moment. As far as what to put your money toward, if you're considering donating or another generous donation here to the Prevent Cancer Foundation, we have a few bid wars open for you. There's Save or Kill the Baby Yoshis in Super Dram World 2. You can also bid toward one of over 70 possible horse names in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You could even come up with your own horse name idea yourself. Put your money toward that. Right now, my choice, my dude, is in second place. Unfortunately, it is not Wednesday, so my dude may not win. That's too bad, but that's I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Rochefort is in first place with a pretty commanding lead at this point. Also, we have a bid war out there for the Breath of the Wild language that the game will be ran in. German with a pretty good lead right there. So congratulations to all of you fans of the German language out there. We received a $300 donation from Mellow Yellow 878734. Hey Andos and Christy, I'm excited to donate to the stream. I decided for my birthday that I wanted to collect money to donate, and I raised $300. This is dedicated to everyone who has been affected by cancer, such a horrible disease. Let's find a cure. And you're not the only one out there raising money. Let's see, we had a donation from the Racket Boy forums in the amount of $395. Their comment said, the Racket Boy Retro Gaming Forum / community would like to thank everyone at AGDQ for all their hard work raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, for all the donors who contribute, and also for the hours of entertainment and fantastic skills on display. Keep up the good work. This is the proceeds of our annual charity auction. So thank you so much, Racket Boy Forums, for holding that auction and choosing to give your charitable funds to us. Still plenty of donations related to that Link to the Past randomizer run in here, so I will try to get to a few more of them for you before our interview. Sean D. donated $500 and said, I discovered the Link to the Past randomizer a couple months ago and have been hooked ever since. Looking forward to the race. Go Andy! So you will be happy with that result there. Also had a donation here from New Blackheart, who sent in $200 and said the GDQ restream was how I found out about a Link to the Past randomizer. Pedestal hype? Oh, sorry about that, New Blackheart. Also, Aghanim hype? All right. That Aghanim 1 didn't work out either. And also they mentioned Tazbot. What more can you say? We'll be seeing Tazbot one more time tonight. Thanks to all your generous donations. Thank you, New Blackheart, for that one. Here's a $50 donation from Ryukage Chroma, who said, first time watching significant portions of AGDQ. It's awesome to see so many people who love games to the point they'll try to beat a Zelda game without a sword. especially doing so to fight a condition which has targeted some of my family and claimed my best friend's mother. What I'm sending may not be much, but I'd like to insert whatever coin I can to see you and the research continue. Thank you. You're welcome, Ryukage Chroma, and we appreciate the donations, large and small. Again, check out the bid index right now. You could see on the tracker the donations. Our average donation total is $45.66. So if you're not sending in hundreds of dollars, don't even worry about it. On average, most people aren't giving that much, and it's quite all right. Our donation total is made up of tens of thousands of smaller donations. Uh-oh, here comes some more self-aggrandizement. Sure, I'll read this, why not? Yells Rake with a $10 donation said, shout-outs to Prolix, always one of my favorite folks rocking the mic. Donation to my choice. Nice. All right, Sean Anosuke chimed in again, $225, saying, well, I didn't get to see the official bonk count on screen in the credits roll, so let me just round up a bit. Big thanks to the runners, volunteers, and staff. My mother was extremely fortunate and managed to beat cancer a couple of years ago. I hope this donation can help others overcome their own battles. Much love, signed, Sean. Thank you, Sean Anosuke. We appreciate every time people follow up on their promises. That's awesome. Here's a donation of $500 from Justin50. They said Andy's swordless run was the best and at SGDQ, and now we get a Link to the Past randomizer race? Sold. And we're now ready to take it back to the interview desk, where we'll be talking with a GrandPooBear about Super Dram World 2. Take it away!
All right, move left, left. Okay, now you're gonna hit left start, one frame apart, all right? Now hold down right and unpause. Left start, one frame. Down right, unpause. Left start, one frame. Down right, unpause. Oh crap, we're live. Okay. Hi folks, hi. What's up? I'm Jay Hobbs. I'm here with GrandPooBear, who's going to be running Super Dram World 2, which is a bonus game, but I believe we've already met that, right? So
yeah.
it's gonna be in the schedule. It's gonna be exciting. I know we've already got some people who are super hype about it. I want to jump right into the questions, Dram, because we got a bunch for you, both for me.
About Dram. I'm Pooh.
About. Did I call you Dram?
That's all right. I would love to be confused for Dram.
I just want to ask questions about Dram. I thought that's what we were doing.
That's why I started running the game, was because I wanted to know more about Dram.
Right.
And how dreamy he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to ask you questions about Dram.
Okay.
All right. And you're just going to have to be okay with that.
All right.
All right. So, how amazing is Dram?
I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Dram in person, but he's amongst the greatest looking human beings that have ever lived.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's really good at Mario World, so.
All right. I guess I could ask a couple questions about you, like one or two. All right, so the first one, I just like this. It's just a very random question from social media, okay? We got the account What Scares You asking an app question with, hey, Pooh, what scares you? Is the answer Dram World 2?
Well, yeah, this game does scare me here today. I mean, not like day to day, but playing in a marathon setting is pretty unsafe, I would say. I really am amazed that GDQ is letting me do this at all. Like, it could go really, really well, or it could go really, really bad really quick. So I'm pretty excited to see what's gonna happen. Like, 3 out of 4 runs are really good, and then that 4th run is just like.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, that leads us into our next one from Amaryllis Masaki. They ask, how many times do you think you will die in this run?
I'm shooting for less than 50.
All right.
So in 50 deaths sounds like a lot, but in that game, it's really not that bad.
Super fast iteration time.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what level I die in, I guess. It's going to be pretty fast. There's a couple that'll be pretty slow, but I'm rooting for less than 50, I would say. So anything less than 50, it's a good run.
Yeah, I got faith in you. I'm thinking 14. 14.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm 14, I could break the record.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
My lowest is 10. The lowest I've ever done is 10. Before that, it was 14, so yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'd be stoked on anything in the teens. Yeah.
All right, well, I want to ask you just, my own question of what really drew you to Dram World 2? Was it just your love for Super Mario World, or was it more just you love challenges, you want these challenging games?
Yeah, no, I love challenging games. And beyond that, I love what Panga does. I first, I didn't discover Panga. Panga's been doing this for a long time, but I first discovered Panga through Mario Maker. And once I kind of like went through all his levels in there, I was like, well, what else has he made? And so that led me to Dram World 1, and I became obsessed with that. And then when Dram 2 came out, it was just a very natural transition to get that, to go for that game too. So yeah, it's honestly like the last like 2 years of my life have really been spending time playing Panga's levels. You know? So yeah.
Can't get enough.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, I always love to hear where people's screen names came from, and Dr. Motorcycle is asking, where did the name GrandPooBear come from?
So I had a childhood friend named Christopher Robin, and you wouldn't believe this, but I was actually
really?
I was actually a lot bigger than him growing up, despite not being much taller than him now. So everyone used to call me Pooh Bear at first when we were like the same height, but then I got bigger than him.
Why do I feel like you're just repeating the story of Winnie the Pooh?
If you ask me on Monday, I'll have a new story for you. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you sure this isn't going to go somewhere where you just got a bunch of honey one time?
That's one of my stories, so yeah. Yeah.
But that basically just friends called you Pooh Bear the whole time. You thought that was pretty grand?
That's a better version than the actual story, so yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, well, the Shaded Master, I'm going to fly through a bunch of social media because we got a lot of people loving Pooh Bear out there and really want to get their questions in. So the Shaded Master asks, what is your favorite level in the run?
It's probably a tie between, there's two of them. There's one called Skyway to Shell, which is kind of like a playoff, a really famous Mario Maker level that Panga made as well. It's extremely hard. It's the level I'm going to probably die on the most here in this run. But it's like non-stop action, and it's going to get some pog champs. And then there's also this one called The Babysitter, which is, it's actually an auto-scroller, so you think it wouldn't be like that great, but it's just so visually appeasing that it's, and really fun to play that it's definitely my favorite level in the hack. My least favorite is the Lava Dolphin level. It's the worst thing Panga's ever made. It's not even close. Like, it's crap. It's doo-doo. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How excited are you for the bid war?
Oh, the save the baby Yoshis or kill the baby Yoshis?
Yeah.
Okay, so they actually have it wrong. Saving the Yoshis is shorter, and killing the Yoshis takes longer.
So we got it backwards.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. Either way, I really want to kill the baby Yoshis because Yoshis are tools, not jewels. They are not to be saved. So and also in my run, I always save them because it's faster. Right. So I really, really would like to dump them down a hole.
Well, you heard it here.
Three-colored baby Yoshis. They're super cute. They need to die.
You heard it here first, folks. Donate to save the Yoshis, you monster. All right, well, Phoebe, last name that I'm not going to be able to pronounce correctly, asks, how insane do you have to be to not just get through Super Dram World, but to go ultra fast through it?
I don't know if you have to be insane. I think you got to have a lot of patience. You definitely have to not be someone who's maybe prone to controller throwing. But yeah, I don't know. It definitely takes a certain type of person. Maybe someone who's a glutton for punishment. I've always been someone who kind of like, if it's really easy, it's probably not worth it. So I've always been more on like wanting to do hard games or hard runs or things that are kind of challenging or even RNG heavy. I kind of dig that type of stuff. So yeah.
Got to react on the fly.
Yeah, stuff I got to put a lot of time and hours into. Like stuff that it's not just like I play perfectly, but the game decides when I can play perfectly too. I don't know, for some reason that appeals to me. Yeah.
You're a weird person.
I get that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm probably the only speedrunner that's here that's like, yeah, RNG's great.
Yeah,
you know?
RNG that I have no control over is great, and also I love patience in my speedruns. You know, what is this guy? All right.
Favorite level's an auto-scroller.
Well, I want to ask one from Sniper Eagle Eye, who asks, are you going to try for world record in GrandPoo World?
Oh, in GrandPoo World?
Yeah, not in Super Dram.
Okay, maybe. GrandPoo World is an amazing game, and it's named after me, obviously, so I've got to love it. And it was made by a great creator out there named Barbosking, and shout out to him. It's full of like amazing memes and like the best music in any game of this variety. And so I would love to get that, but I think after this I might be going back to my my true love, which is Mario 3. Because don't get me wrong, I love Mario World, but I really love me some Mario 3. So.
All right, cool. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here, and of course, as always, with us reaching the end of the marathon, I know it's sad, but we're getting there. We want to keep pushing as fast as we can for higher and higher dollar counts. And with that, I want to bring in Sten for some prizes.
Hey, Hobbs. My controller's not working.
Yeah, I didn't plug it in. You suck.
Oh, that hurts.
But you know what you're great at is showing prizes. So what we got, Sten?
Okay, well, you know what, Hobbs? We got some really cool stuff for you. So, in addition to everything you guys have seen before, we have two wonderful individual prints here, the map of the light world and the map of the dark world from A Link to the Past right there.
Which, by the way, that race was incredible. Can we get like one more round of applause?
Really, can we?
Quick? That was fantastic.
That was absolutely not. A swordless seed. I've never seen that.
That was a super cool thing to watch.
I have never seen a swordless seed. That was absolutely nuts. So both of those are from Studio Pen and are both $10 minimum donations from now until the end of the event.
Cool.
And here we have this, adorable little Hetsu
That
plushie.
thing is so cute.
I love this thing. Ice5 is a longtime supporter of the marathon. She always makes us some adorable plushies. And you know what I love about this guy?
It shakes.
He's got real little maracas. You can just shake them. He's also got a little duffel bag on his back that kind of opens up for you. It's an adorable plushie. $35 again from now until the end of the marathon. Also, we have this lovely Breath of the Wild watercolor.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, no,
That's great.
This is really nice. It was sent to us by Connor Lapisca. Again, now until the end of Breath of the Wild. It's pretty much the trend for everything you're going to see coming up in this marathon. It's a $25 minimum donation, and yeah, it's just beautiful. I really loved the detail he got in here with the
super
medium.
cool.
Yeah, honestly, just absolutely amazing.
I don't even think you have to be a fan of Zelda to appreciate
No,
art like that. Like,
that's
just
something I would
looks
just
good.
hang on my wall.
It just looks good.
It does. And speaking of things that really look good, this is actually a cutting board, believe it or not, that's been wood burned. So they've burned the map of Hyrule onto that from Ocarina of Time. And
These are actually the first time I'm seeing these folks. Like, this is amazing.
This thing is absolutely amazing. Again, something that was sent to us by Nate and Kamikawa. Great artists, love their work. And it's running from now until the end of the marathon. So make sure you guys get your donations in for those. Also, remember, ongoing, we have these wonderful Sage 7.1 surround sound gaming headphones. We have a Super Nintendo Classic from eMister. And we have the incredible Bandai Namco prize pack full of all of the stuff you see on this table, including this unbelievable statue.
This thing is like, it's huge and it's heavy and it's amazing. Okay.
I'm scared to be around it, but at the same time, I'm kind of in awe of
I've
it.
already said I'm not touching it, man. I'm not having a chance of breaking that.
Oh, it's a beautiful statue. Everything you see on this table and more is included in it. Tons of games, tons of great stuff. And even though it's not here, there's also a wonderful Thrustmaster GT steering wheel, which is just it's top of the line steering wheel technology. Can rotate 1080 degrees. It has force feedback and like real drive shafts and pistons in it, so you get that authentic driving feel when you're using it. That's going to be a $120 minimum donation from now until the end of the event, guys. $120 donation, and you could possibly win all of the cool stuff on this table and more. And don't forget, that's pretty much going to get you an entry into our grand prize, which is, as mentioned, a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One, and a Nintendo Switch all together. $150 through the marathon. Now's the time to get those donations in.
Yeah, so remember, folks, GamesDoneQuick.com is where you can get all the information for the prizes and where you can donate. So please, please keep those donations coming, because I think we can hit the 2 million still.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We can do it. Does the crowd think we can hit the 2 million? Sounds like they do. All right, well, without further ado, I'm going to kick it over for this exciting upcoming race of Super Mario World. Take it away, folks.
Thanks, J-Hobbs, sent GrandPooBear. I have been prolix. It was my pleasure to host for you during the randomizer. I have to hand it off now. This is my last game of the marathon to be here with you. I'm giving over the mic to the wonderful and talented Skybills. And thank you so much for the love you've expressed and all of the money that you've donated to our charity here throughout the week. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Hello, everybody. I'm Skybills, and welcome to the Mario Block, everybody. Got a quick donation real quick before we send this off. So I have $15 from Tina Hack 17, who says, "Hey runners, it's amazing to see you all here able to show off what world-class skill looks like. And since this is world-class, I'll be following up with $15 per first try clip. No pressure, runners." All right, and with that, let's start this SMW No Cape, No Star World. Take it away, commentators.
Okay, everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is Super Mario World, No Cape, No Star World. And our runners here, we have Sten, who is a world record holder, or a former record holder in multiple categories, including all castles in '96 in Super Mario World. We have BJW, who told me he plays a lot of anime games, but he's also second place and the former world record holder for SMB2 all levels. We have SilverStar, who is a world record holder in multiple Super Mario World categories, including all of the 11 exit no cape categories. And Calco, who probably needs no introduction. Calco is the world record holder in pretty much every category not involving cape, except for the ones that SilverStar has. So we have 4 very talented runners for this category. So in Super Mario World, I think anyone who's played this game, or at least watched speedruns of it, can attest that the cape is perhaps one of the most overpowered power-ups in the entire Mario series. And so this category is one of the categories that was made to sort of force runners to avoid that power-up. So you're going to see some very intense, pure Mario platforming in these runs.
Yeah, I think the cape tends to get. I think a lot of people view it as being this really overpowered tool, and in a lot of ways it is. It opens the door to a lot of techniques and strategies that really are very specific to Super Mario World in general. There's nothing like it in the rest of the Mario series, but one of the really nice things about Super Mario World is that most of these levels end up changing significantly when you take away the cape. So even though the strategies involving cape are incredibly challenging, incredibly interesting, taking away the cape as well produces something that's completely different. A lot of times you'll find that runners that excel on one side don't necessarily find the ability to translate that over, and that goes really in both directions.
So I'd just like to point out that Calco just got a shell jump, which is a very precise trick of effectively getting a second jump off of the shell. And in that particular stage, it saves about a quarter second. So you might notice that he's very slightly ahead. All of these runners, World 1s, are going to look almost exactly the same, which is why we've been yapping through the entire world.
You may have been asking yourself, why did they go so long without grabbing a power-up? It was actually mostly just for the very first jump of this castle. A lot of people watching speedruns of this ask, well, why don't you just run through the midway tapes? They don't cost you any time, and you can have a safety hit. The reason is the very first jump in Iggy's castle is significantly easier without a power-up. And since we're in an auto-scroller now, it might benefit us to introduce ourselves really quickly. So.
Sure. So I'm Meisterbrow.
I'm Dr. Cool.
And I'm Author Blues.
And beside the house, we have beside the couch, we have Resifos and Seathorn.
Pretty much as expected, all of the runners are in lockstep right now, and we're going to have our first castle cutscene, so this might be a good chance for a quick donation.
All right, we have $25 from CT Conquer. Hey everybody, CT here. So happy to see SMW keep such a strong presence at GDQ year after year. Good luck to all the runners, and shoutouts to shoutouts. Donation goes to winner's choice. Though let's be honest, it'll probably be for Yabi.
Yeah, so speaking of Yabi, in this next stage, Donut Plains 1, we're going to see Yabi for the first time. And as you all know, Yabi is Yoshi's father. And they are both horses, just like the horse in Breath of the Wild.
You can actually best identify that he is a horse because he lays eggs.
That's true. The eggs don't lie. So everyone's going to grab, again, a Yabi here, and that's just for one jump. We have to get the secret exit in this stage. So here we go. See you, Yoshi. Yabi. So if a lot of you have seen cape categories, there's a pipe that leads to a sub-level in this stage that we use to grab a shell to swim faster through the second half. But since we don't have a cape, we cannot jump high enough to grab that shell, so the runners will not be using that sub-level.
It's actually a common misconception. People who watch this run think that it's actually just the fact that it's faster to go through that room, but with the added pipe transitions, it's actually quite a bit slower. The shell makes up that difference in the long run, and that's why they end up skipping it in this category.
All right, and the goal time for this stage is a 42, which is kind of a tight window. So let's see if any of our runners can achieve that.
And when we say when we're gonna reference a lot of numbers during the run, and we're referencing the game timer. Usually we just point out the last 2 digits because the hundreds place is kind of obvious. So when we say 42, we mean a 242 left on the timer.
So this ghost house is interesting because there's a bit of a skip. So if anybody remembers playing this game as a kid, the casual way is you have to do a little tricky thing in the second room, but it turns out that the door to exit is already there. All we need to do is climb up to find it.
They're referenced as Boo Buddies in the credits for a reason.
The camera wasn't giving BJW, or really either of the other guys, a good time. But you can actually unlock that camera by getting P-speed and jumping.
So this, in my opinion, is one of the most exciting no cape levels. So I'll just shut up and let you guys watch.
These strats are incredibly challenging, especially in a marathon. But as we say in the SMW community, fortune favors the bold.
And it looks like all 4 of them got
Beautiful.
Wow.
the tricky jump. I think now would be a good time to explain how Mario's movement works in this game. So it might look like when you're just running through the level, Mario has a consistent speed, but he actually doesn't. His speed varies between 3 different values very rapidly, and so it's not actually easy to come up with very consistent strats, especially when they're very precise, like in Donut Plains 3. So the fireball strat that you just saw was a way to avoid the randomness of Mario's jump heights. There are strats that involve no fire flower, which lead to random jumps where you try to get up on top of the clouds, or the sky teeth, as we call them. But using the fire flower and the left scroll to spawn the platform on the line guide at a different time makes it non-trivial to get across that giant gap.
So everyone grabbed their Yabi horses in this stage for just 1 jump, actually, 3 stages from now. So we're nearing the second castle here, and you'll notice that the vertical room, which is the 3rd room, is just it's a very precise vertical climb, and especially for newer runners, the cycle skip that they're going to no doubt achieve is quite difficult. And a very fast time would be a 3:38 red door at the top of this tower.
We see that SilverStar has a fire flower in reserve, as well as Mario's fire power-up. The reason to keep the fire flower power-up is to take out the bosses as quickly as possible. Both Morton, Ludwig, and Roy will take 2 fireballs and a stomp to kill, and if they don't have that fire flower to take them out, it does lose a quite significant amount of time.
So you may have just seen these runners are killing the boss of Castle 2 with 2 quick fireballs and jump on his head. A lot of people think that you have to jump on him 3 times, but due to a little bit of complicated details, those first 2 fireballs actually count the equivalent of jumps. So 2 quick fireballs and a jump on their head, and the boss becomes completely trivial. Now would be a great time for a donation.
And oh my goodness, do we have a donation? We have a $13,000 donation.
Yeah.
BK donates $13,000 saying, Yabi is Yoshi's dad. Yabi, like Yoshi, is a horse. The Zelda horse will be named Yabi. Thank you, BK.
Thank you so much for doing the right thing. So, as mentioned, the Yabi that we've been holding on to is specifically for a jump coming up in this stage right here that you see Calco on right now.
And as I said earlier about these vertical climbs in this category are, I think, the most impressive thing. It's actually really hard to control the way the camera is scrolling up.
If you feel bad for that Yabi, don't. They're
SilverStar.
immortal, and he will live here forever. We'll find more in the future, and we will also leave them irresponsibly in other places.
But at least this one wasn't thrown in a pit.
We'll get to it.
So while we're on the topic of Yabi, we're going to grab another one in this stage. And
Don't get attached.
but we're going to actually keep this one for a while, so you may become a little bit more attached to this one than some of the others. The reason why is because there's a stage coming up that is incredibly difficult without Yoshi, and really the only really the only disadvantage is the pipe transitions are actually longer while you're riding Yoshi. So you can save about 1.5 seconds in this world by not grabbing Yoshi, just due to the pipe transition. Yabi. Excuse me. But it is so much safer to do so, in fact, that this very optimized category has never had a world record without Yoshi on this overlay.
Yabi.
Oh,
Just everyone in the audience help him.
please.
Oh, by the way, in the Japanese version, Yabi can eat the dolphins. That was changed for reasons.
Yabi food. And SilverStar actually came up with a new strat for this level that doesn't involve a left-right. And it's not very difficult, and it saves some frames. So you'll notice he finished the stage with a 61 on the timer. All right, we're at the end of this stage. We're going to see our first Reznor, which is on my shirt.
Take a quick look at these runners as they enter the pipe into Vanilla Dome. It's actually because of the fact that they are riding Yabi that they enter the pipe in what looks like a very strange way in the first room. It doesn't matter a whole lot, but it's kind of interesting to note. They fall down much further than you usually fall down in a pipe.
Right.
Even though Yabi's not allowed in the castle, the game still treats it as Yabi coming out of the pipe. So
The game
Mario
tricks
goes,
itself.
The game does not trick itself. The game is not a person.
Hold on. I'll do one for the drinking game. The game gets confused.
There we go.
Bingo. So you'll notice Calco is a few seconds in the lead here, and so on his screen, we're leading up to the Reznor fight, which on the Japanese cart they are called Bui Bui, and he has a very good quick kill.
Very nice.
And that's that.
Very nice fight from SilverStar as well.
Yeah, that fight can be incredibly technical and challenging, especially for new runners. Your instinct is sort of just to wait it out, but once you get the hang of the quicker method of killing.
Oh, Sten got a little bit of an aggressive one, but got through it just fine.
So this is Butter Bridge 1. It's probably the most technical, important level of the game. So
Also the best design.
for the next 2.5 minutes, this is probably a good time for donations.
We have a lot here. We have a $4,250 donation from Smoke. Says everyone's lives have been touched by cancer in some way, so we banded together to support a worthwhile cause. Here's to further developing a cure and making lives both present and future better. From all of us in the Smokes to everyone who's been affected by cancer, let's keep fighting the good fight. Also have some community love here. $25 from Brams, who says, I'm rooting for Silver to break the top left guy curse once and for all.
Poor Silver.
$20 from Truman175. So glad to see 4 great SMW runners running the game at GDQ for the first time in this hype race. This donation goes towards naming the Breath of the Wild horse after our favorite horse in the world, Yabi. $200 from XanderWeb479. I've got family currently being treated for cancer, and it's things like this that help them get the help they need. Great runs for a great cause. Of course, we need to name the horse Yabi. Oh, and Team Sten. We have $30 from Cujo228. Hey dudes, good luck, have fun. Fireflower Mario looking out his window. $50 from Mr. Shasta. Finally getting around to donating. I think I promised to donate $20 during my run earlier in the event, but what I really, really need that Breath of the Wild oil canvas painting. Best of luck to all the SMW runners, and especially my boy, Sten. No matter what happens, I'm ready for an exciting race, and I hope everyone else is too.
Okay, so as we're coming out of this auto-scroller, this was the stage I was talking about that is extremely hard without Yoshi.
Yabi.
So, I'm sorry.
Thanks, guys.
So, despite the fact that the cape is banned, in this particular category, flight is not. And when Yabi grabs a blue shell, we get wings.
SMW runners just can't keep themselves from cheating.
However, did you know, Oth, that there is a fabulous new category called 95 Exit No Flight, which bans any sort of flight?
Any leaderboard that needs that many categories, I don't know.
Just for the record, the Super Mario World Extended Categories leaderboard has at least, I'd say, 40 categories on it.
Okay, so watch Calco's screen. He's going to do a fast strat here with a quick scroll. Oh, just bunked.
He got hung up for just a second, but he was trying to get there to that dry spiny before he transformed.
And this room involves a lot of intricate jumps underneath Potobos.
Yeah, it may look fairly straightforward, but the height management underneath these Potobos, especially the first one, is incredibly technical. You have to jump from a pretty far distance away and then control your height using the jump button after you've already released it.
Yeah, the tap repress is a technique that any new runners need to become comfortable with very quickly. Oof.
Yeah, with SilverStar not having a flower in Ludwig fight, the Ludwig fight is actually the longest boss fight to not have the fire flower for. As you can see, he's rolling around on the floor now.
Fortunately, he's doing the easy setup for the cycle skip, which he just seemed to have gotten. Typically, we would have seen him have to go through a whole extra cycle there, but because he hit Ludwig while he was still in the air, it didn't count as one of the cycles, and so once he landed, he could hit him for the third time, which was perfect. This is the longest of them all, so go nuts.
So we do have some love from a neighboring 2D Mario community, $250 from JP Nance. Holding up my end of the 5-4 skip Yoshi's Island bargain, plus a little extra. Good luck to Calco and the rest of the runners in what should be an amazing race. $25 from Abby119 to P Jelly and all the rest of my dudes, Dots, Steven, Truman, Brams, Rezi, Dan, Chris, etc.
So in this stage, you'll notice that the runners are going to pick up an additional fire flower unless they already have one in reserve, and that's because we're going to do a damage boost in Castle 5.
That grab is incredibly technical, but not that hard to learn, but also super fun to watch.
And also very quickly...
Oh, is he going for it?
My dude. He was attempting to duplicate a block for wings, and it was going to be a beautiful experience for us all.
I think it still was.
I loved it.
Getting that trick without cape is insanely hard, and I'm pretty sure nobody actually goes for it in RTAs yet.
Till now.
Until now.
Calco never says die.
Okay, Dots, why don't you explain Yoshi clips real quickly for
Yabi
us?
clips.
Sorry, take a break, bud.
All right, in Forest of Illusion 2, which is a water stage, it is very long and very laggy. So instead, we decided to use our friend Yabi to just clip through the wall. And first try, with a good setup, getting a first try clip is a 75% chance.
And as you'll see, SilverStar got, well, we call it RNG'd out. It's not actually RNG.
And from this sample set, we got exactly a 75% chance.
Yeah, nice. Perfect.
I mean, more accurately, we would describe it as luck, but in reality, SilverStar didn't do anything wrong. You really are just subject to sub-pixel oscillation that you really have no way to control and no way to know what's going to happen. So.
Essentially, the setup works on on 3 out of every 4 frames, and a runner in real time has no real way to guess which frame we're on. So in this next stage at the very beginning, there's a tall pipe with a spring right before it. Usually runners will simply jump on the spring, but I believe most of our runners are going to go for a wall jump here.
Yeah, since the wall jump is right at the beginning of the level, Mario starts with the same sub-pixel value, which sets up the wall jump perfectly, so it's actually easier than any other wall jump.
Oh, Sten hit the pixel.
BJW went straight for the springboard, which is, I mean, if you don't think that you're going to get the wall jump consistently,
Yeah,
it's definitely faster.
And to be fair, it also, if you do get the pipe jump, it can add some temperamental bubble patterns later in the level that can actually lose time.
Yeah, you'll see some of the runners decided to carry the red shell through the level just in case they do run into a bubble. If you run into a bubble while you're over a pit, you're basically just going to fall in.
It's crucial that he saves that power-up right there. Otherwise, he's going to have a heck of a time.
Yeah, there is a way to clip in there, but you need to bring a Goomba into the pipe.
So this castle with a cape can become somewhat, I won't say trivial, but it does become quite a bit easier to fly through it. They're going to have to ride the block snake, but we are going to still get to experience some really nice skips coming up pretty soon. So keep an eye on Calco's side for now and all the runners to follow.
The first thing he's going to do is scroll his screen to the right so that when he drops an item, he can run with P speed and grab that, and you'll see why.
So he grabs it immediately and then
Iframes.
jumps as soon as they run out. That was perfect execution.
We'll see if Sten and BJW can get the same.
Yeah, and Silver, because he doesn't have an item in reserve, he has to set it up a bit differently. But that actually, the Fire Flower only actually saves about 4 seconds on this boss fight, so it's certainly not a run killer.
It can actually be quite difficult to pull that off anyway.
The timing on dropping the power-up is pretty tight, and it's also really difficult to press the select button while you're running and everything, so getting the trick is not super easy.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever held a SNES controller, but holding down 3 or 4 buttons at once and then pressing select with whatever hand's left is a challenge.
This would be a good time for a donation. We're at another castle cutscene.
All right, thank you. We have $200 from Half Coordinated. Video games are good. Speedrunning's good. Charity's good. Thank you for all the good. I love the speedrunning community, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Also, $45 from Tina Hacks 14. 3 first try clips, $45 to Runner's Choice. Shoutouts to our favorite horse, Yabi.
Thank you for supporting our good boy.
All right, Chocolate Island 1 is a pretty straightforward level. It includes a lot of platforming skills, not much the way of glitches or anything.
Yeah, it's actually unfortunate because this is the exact opposite of some of the stages we've talked about before, where it's actually quite difficult to learn and difficult to get good at, and yet it doesn't look that impressive to see done.
So you'll notice that BJW and SilverStar also picked up a mushroom in this stage, and that's used for a D-boost near the end of this ghost house that Sten is entering and Calco is currently in.
Yeah, neither of them have a backup power-up currently, and so they'll be exiting this stage.
So you'll notice that that Calco was able to keep. So in this game, when you run off of ledges, you actually lose your P speed. YOLO door. When you run off of ledges, the game kills your P speed. So you would like to jump off before every ledge as much as possible, but this Fish and Boo tends to make things a little bit interesting. And SilverStar has spent a lot of time in this level based on one of the 4 patterns that he can spawn in. SilverStar can recognize that and know which stairs to run down to get to that door as fast as possible.
It may not look impressive, but I do just want to point out that running full speed and opening a door is a 3-frame window, and if any of those runners had missed it, they would have ran right into a pit.
This room that you'll see on Calco's screen is a little bit difficult because some of these Koopa bounces are blind. Also in this game, we mentioned the tap repress. If Mario is ever falling, if you hold the jump button, he's actually falling less quickly than if you let it go, and that allows runners to control where they land only by repressing the jump button, as opposed to having to do left rights, which would obviously lose time.
So Calco right now is entering an incredibly challenging stage, mostly because of the football chucks. They are awful.
So he did a little left right there so that he doesn't have to rely on... Are the footballs actually RNG?
No, they're not. The footballs that the Chucks throw are based off of the global timer. So depending on when exactly you enter the level, the footballs will spawn at a different time. And
so RNG.
Basically, luck-based. If ooh, and that's what we were just talking about, football right in the face.
But you can save 2. So the world record all but requires that. And, you know, I'm not sure of the exact percentage, but I would say you can get through that room a little more than 50% of the time. But again, it's required, or all but required, for the world record. So in this category is so optimized, there are several tricks that are, you know, only a bit above 50%. Several of them are actually exactly 60%. And you need most of them to challenge Calco's world record.
All you got to do to be good at Super Mario World is major in statistics.
It's worth pointing out that this last yellow platform in the last room of Chocolate Secret is infamous for eating Mario's jump, and so the runners have developed strategies to prevent, or not exactly prevent it, but make sure they don't die in case they do get that eaten jump.
So, okay, so Calco's a madman.
But Sten did damageless crusher skip, as we say, so he's going to get the same cycle actually as Calco did. That was a beautiful castle.
Going under that saw blade without a power-up is just...
It's crazy.
And also notice that Calco did not get the midway in this stage, which is scary for that reason, for example. But it also means he's going to be swimming through some boo rings in the next stage, which is going to look very terrifying, because it is very terrifying. I think now would be a good time for a couple of donations, Sky.
All right, sounds good. We have a $150 donation from Anonymous. Looking forward to watching TaskBot dominate the Mushroom Kingdom. Next stop, the world. TaskBot 2020. $500 from Rage. Excited for the Mario block. Good luck to all the runners. Pooh, I am aghast at your callousness. This donation goes to saving the Yoshis.
All right, so Calco is entering the sunken ghost ship, and you'll see, even though there is a mushroom right here at the beginning of the level, he's just going to go right past it, because it is much easier to swim through the boo rings as small.
Even though it's not easy to swim through the boo rings at all.
And the cost of failure is death.
Yeah.
And about 45 seconds.
Yeah, Sten already had a mushroom from Wendy's castle, and so he's going to be able to deboost through at least one of them.
And there's also, if you notice on Sten's screen really quickly, he's going to pause for a second right there. And that little left-right sets up the boo cloud so that he will despawn the first ring. And all you had to do is a little left-right.
Yeah, so you're going to see this.
Calco's going to swim through the boos.
Very nice.
Right.
So you'll notice on Sten's side, he's not actually even going to see the first boo ring, so.
SilverStar is also going to attempt the same strat. So we'll get to see that again.
You'll notice that Calco actually avoided the star at the beginning of this room. Grabbing the star spawns a bunch of sparklies around Mario because he's invincible, and actually causes this room to lag quite a bit. So by avoiding the star and moving Mario around optimally, you can save a few lag frames.
Orb. Orb.
So BJW and SilverStar are both, they both kept the star, obviously, but they're doing some lag reduction strats by being choosy about which exact enemies to kill.
Skipping the star entirely does save, what is it, something like 20 frames of lag?
About that much.
Orb. Orb.
Keeping P-Speed through this stage, Valley of Bowser 1, is very difficult as small Mario. Both Calco and Sten went through flawlessly. Okay, so Calco is entering the stage that many SMW runners have lost runs to. There's a clip in the second room that has a 2-frame window. The ground is moving, Mario is moving, and so it's hard to find a good visual cue. But it does save 13 seconds if you get it.
I have reason to believe he's going to go for it.
I think he just might.
Yo!
Wait, not yet.
Now he's
Okay, now he's in.
Sometimes you don't want to celebrate too early because it is kind of tricky to get in there.
That's called the Louis clip.
That second clip is actually really free. Anybody can just go in there. All you have to do is make sure Mario's rubbed against the left wall.
And it doesn't save any time.
And it doesn't. SilverStar having some trouble getting up the first yellow block, but oof.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, when those platforms are in unexpected places, it can be very difficult.
That
to
jump
recover.
Calco just did, he didn't wait for the sandbar to rise. That's a 6-tile jump, which is, it's specific to one of Mario's speeds.
Yeah, there's only a 60% chance if you do all the inputs correctly that you'll get that. And it saves about 3.5 seconds. And Calco now in the fort. This is just a very entertaining stage, and it's also terrifying. So all of these going left and right are all just to keep P-speed throughout the stage. All right, and SilverStar here is coming up on sandbar.
Ooh. Wow. SilverStar has succumbed to the top left guy curse yet again.
Oof. Don't feel too bad. He can't hear us. That trick is extremely challenging. You have to, with very little visual indication, you have to time a spin jump within a 2-frame window.
And Sten also successfully navigating through the very difficult VOB fort.
Completely flawless dark room.
And here we are at the Bowser fight.
So you may be familiar with watching these Bowser fights from different categories, but don't be fooled into thinking that just because we don't have cape, we can't do this fight fast. We're going to make use of a little bit of the strangeness of the Bowser fight, specifically how he provides Mecha Koopas in order to make this faster. So rather than hitting him with both Mecha Koopas right away, he's going to actually wait for Bowser to kick out one more. Even though he's waiting to end this cycle, holding on to that extra Mecha Koopa is going to make all the difference in the cycles going forward.
And Sten using some visual cues here for a setup to make this fight a little bit easier.
Keep a close eye on Calco in the second phase of this fight. He's actually going to specifically throw the Mecha Koopa at a point in order to skip Bowser dropping the second of his 2 bowling balls that he usually drops. It's a small time save, but it is a time save, and it's really nice if you can get it.
How many seconds is that? I think if it's an entire cycle, it could be several seconds actually.
Yeah, the ball drop animation takes a couple seconds, and then he flies around a little bit, so maybe about 3.
Okay.
But it also it's really variable because the Bowser fight is.
So you'll notice that SilverStar here is small in this Reznor fight. Those platforms can just kind of randomly warp you into the lava when you're small. So it's best if you're small in Reznor fights to take it a little bit more carefully than you might if you had a power up.
Yeah, BJW was small too, and I was worried for a second.
Okay, and we're coming up on time here for Calco.
The time ends right when the Princess Peach appears out of Bowser's clown car.
And time. And what was the time?
34:43. That's a fantastic time.
Anything sub 35 in marathon run is very amazing.
I'm not sure. He might have beat everyone else's PB that's in the race. And time for Sten. And BJW just executing the ball skip that we talked about earlier.
Am I mistaken? Am I misremembering? Didn't Calco set the world record for No Cape, No Star World in a tournament race?
Actually, it was the community race. There were maybe 40 people racing, and it was the community race to build hype for the tournament. And his current world record was set in that race. So that's going to be an SRL race time that's going to be pretty tough to beat.
Yeah.
And we're coming up on time for BJW. Nice Bowser.
And
time.
Time.
Can we get a lot of top left guy Bible thump in the chat, please?
It wasn't his fault. He didn't choose where to be on the screen.
That's true. All right, we're coming up on time here for SilverStar.
Very nice last hit.
And time.
That was an absolutely fabulous run by all of the racers.
It's a very technical category with a lot of things to react to, and they all just did fabulously. So congratulations, guys.
Very nice race.
Nice job.
All right. Can we hear it one more time for the runners and the commentators of that race? Also, we do have a $5,000 donation from the Yeti. The Yeti's message is short